Bringing in the New Year by Grace Lynn. Is the new year coming? I hope so. We try to welcome it in. So Gigi sweeps the old year out of the house. There she is with the broom sweeping. Baba hangs the spring happiness poems. Mama makes the get-rich dumplings. May gets a fresh haircut. And I put on my new kapow dress for the New Year feast. Now will the new year come? Pop, pop, pop. Do you hear the firecrackers? Are they bringing in the new year? No, but they brought in the lions. They're here to scare away last year's bad luck. They scare May too. Don't cry, May. Where is the new year? We carry the lanterns to light its way. I hope the new year follows us soon. So there they are, having a parade with all of their lanterns. Look, there's the dragon. Auntie is waking him up by opening his eyes. The new year must be coming. So they're painting their dragon. The dragon's awake. Is it the new year at last? So now they're dancing and doing the parade with the dragon. Yes, hooray! The new year is here. Happy New Year, everyone. So in the back of the book, it talks about the Chinese New Year, and it says, is now more commonly called the Lunar New Year, and it is one of the most celebrated holidays in the world. It's such an important festival that it traditionally lasts for 15 days, ending with the Lantern Festival. Nowadays, however, most people just celebrate for one day. It is time for families and friends to get together and is the biggest, most exciting event of the year. There are many customs and traditions associated with the New Year. People prepare for this festival for almost a month ahead of time. Houses are cleaned to sweep away the old year. Debts are paid, so the new year begins without obligation. And red decorations featuring spring poems and good wishes are put up to welcome in the new year. Red is considered a lucky color. People also prepare themselves, cutting their hair and buying new clothes. All this is done so they can start the new year fresh. To make sure that the new year is full of plenty of food and luck, people feast at New Year's banquets. Most food have symbolic meanings. Oranges, dumplings, and a whole fish mean wealth, and eating them brings prosperity in the new year. To scare away evil spirits, firecrackers are lit and lions are given offerings, usually lucky red envelopes of money, to dance. Lions are given offerings to dance. The bad spirits are also frightened by the bright lanterns which light the way for the new year. And no new year is complete without the appearance of the lucky dragon. When a new dragon is used for a parade, it can be woken up by an eye-opening ceremony. This simple ceremony paints in the eyes of the dragon so he can see the symbolic sun. The dragon chases the sun around and around, ensuring that we will have many nights and days. His chase is accompanied by many merrymakers whose joyous noise helps scare away any remaining evil spirits, guaranteeing them a happy, lucky new year. So that explains some of the Chinese traditions for their New Year's celebration. So if we look in the front of the book, there was some examples of some typical things that are used to celebrate the Chinese New Year. So they've got their red envelopes, their drums, their dumplings, their lanterns, firecrackers, their poems, their broom to sweep out the old, their fish, their gong, their kumquat tree, more lanterns. There's lots of different things, and there's noisemakers. So I have an example of a type of noisemaker that they sometimes use. So my glue is just drying on my stick, so I need to hold it up high till it's nice and dry. But I've decorated both sides of my noisemaker, and then when it's ready, you'll be able to swing the little wooden beads to make your noise and celebrate your new year. So on the front I wrote Gong Hei Fat Choi, which is Happy New Year in Chinese. So I'll show you how I made my noisemaker. I started with 2 small plates. You can use large plates if you have them. And I then painted the front because red is considered a lucky color in China, in their beliefs. So I've painted some of the plate red. And before I'm gluing my plates together, I've attached 2 ribbons. So you can use string or ribbon, whatever you have at home. And I've just taken a long piece, and it's going to be trimmed so that it's the right length. But for now, I've just attached a long piece with glue. You can use tape or staples, whatever you have, whatever you want to do, however much time you have. I had some time for my glue to dry. So you glue those on the inside, and then I'll attach my other plate on the outside, and that will give us the start of our noisemaker. Now before I completely glue it, I have a chopstick. If you don't have chopsticks, you can just use a popsicle stick or some kind of craft stick. A popsicle stick might stay better because it's flatter and the glue might adhere to the plate better. So that's something that you could consider if you have popsicle sticks. So I just attached it approximately a couple centimeters up into my plate. So you need to put that in before you attach the front of your plate. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue all around the outer edge of my plate. And then I'm going to attach my stick. And before I close it up, I might, if you have some tape at home, you can try to tape that in the center before you close up your plate. That might help for it to stay in place just while your glue starts to set. So attach your stick. And then you're going to have to give that some time to dry and for the glue to adhere. So that's where your tape comes in handy. If you attach some tape on the inside, you'll be able to move your noisemaker around a little more while you're adding your decorations on it. So I'm going to carefully lay mine down. My stick is nice and straight. And attach the beads on the side. So I have a container with some craft beads. You can use whatever beads you have at home. You could use a bell if you have bells from a craft project. And so I just threaded it through the wooden bead. And then what I am going to do is sort of lay the ribbon across the plate and figure out where it hits approximately the middle of my plate. So you don't want it to be way up at the top. It's going to be too long, but it is nice to have that extra long ribbon to do your tying and then trim it after. So I just tied it in some knots once I had it at the length that I was happy with. I'm just going to double knot that. And trim my end off. And I'll do the same on the other side. So I'm going to slide it down, measure so it hits the middle of the plate, and then I'll do my double knot. If you don't know how to make a knot, you're going to have to ask a parent. So now my 2 side beads are on the plate. Just make sure that's tight. Okay. So then the next thing that I did on my plate is I did my decorations. So if you'll see on this side of my plate, I've added some feathers. So we have feathers in our craft supplies, so I did add some feathers. If you don't have feathers in your craft supplies, you can certainly use whatever decorations you have. You can use stickers. If you have a computer and a printer at home, you can look on, you can just search for Chinese New Year clip art, and you can find pictures of different types of pictures from Chinese New Year. So you could find pictures of the dragons or the noisemakers or the firecrackers. So I've added some of my feathers, and something else that I know kids really like to do is to use the glitter or the confettis. So I'm gonna add a nice line of glue around my plate. And if you want, you could use a paintbrush to spread that all around. And I'm just gonna take one of my other plates to catch my extra. So I'm just gonna slide my stick out since it's not dry. So over top of the plate, you're going to add your red glitter. Of course, red is one of the favorite colors for Chinese New Year, because it means good luck. So do this over top of another plate or a container like a cookie sheet or something, so that after you pour your glitter on, you can scoop it all off onto another plate. You can catch all of your extra. And you can continue to decorate as much as you want. Of course, to say Happy New Year in Chinese is Gong Hei Fat Choi. And you can look that up on the internet, but that is how you spell it, if you can see that on the camera. So people like to say that. So once you're done your decorating, slide your stick back in the bottom of your plate, and then you will end up with this. And then when you celebrate your Chinese New Year, you spin it around. You hold your stick down here when your glue is all dry and it's nice and strong. You spin it around and use the noisemaker to celebrate the New Year. So Gong Hei Fat Choi.